and welcome back to my channel. Today I have my book of the month, June post. So it is June 1st and the new books for June have been released. And this is pretty much my spoiler video in case you aren't a book of the month member or you are and you just don't know what the books are yet. I am announcing them here. So this month again is June and the code to use is SUN5. I will put that in the comments. If you use that code and you have not signed up for Book of the Month yet, you will get your first box for $9.99. And how it works pretty much is you get 1 credit a month. So if you use this code this month, that 1 credit will cost you $9.99. The 1 credit gets you 1 book out of the 5. If you already are a Book of the Month member, it is $14.99 for 1 credit a month normally. And I also have to give a shout out and thank you to Michelle, who has her own channel as well, and I will also leave that in the comments. She used my link to re-sign up for Book of the Month, and thankfully from her sign up, I was able to get an extra credit, so I have 2 credits to work with for this month, or I could carry it over to next month, whatever I want to do. But that said, let's get into the books for this month. This month's books, and I'm going to go into the app, because right in the app will tell me everything. So if you don't want to use the website and you want to download the app, you can find out all the same information I'm sharing with you. But here it is. So if you're looking to hear about the 5 books, hang on and I'll be back with the first of the 5. Okay, I'm back with the first of the 5 books for June 2020, Book of the Month. And the first book is A Burning. It is by Megha Manjumdar, and it is a literary fiction novel. And it is also by a debut author for Book of the Month. And I did check out the synopsis, and it is a very timely subject. So hang on for that synopsis, because everything that's going on right now in this country and the world, I definitely think this is one that may touch on some of those feelings right now for some. But let's hear the synopsis. So Javan is a Muslim girl from the slums determined to move up in life, who is accused of executing a terrorist attack on a train because of a careless comment on Facebook. P.T. Sir is an opportunist gym teacher who hitches his aspirations to a right-wing political party and finds that his own accent becomes linked to Javan's fall. Lovely and irresistible outcast whose exuberant voice and dreams of glory fill the novel with warmth and hope and humor, has the alibi that can set Javan free. But it will cost her everything she holds dear. Tout, symphonic, propulsive, and riveting from its opening lines, A Burning has the force of an epic while being so masterfully compressed it can be read in a single sitting. The author writes with dazzling assurance at a breakneck pace on complex themes that read here as the components of a thriller. Class, fate, corruption, justice, and what it feels like to face profound obstacles and yet nurture big dreams in a country spinning towards extremism. An extraordinary debut. So that is book number 1. And if you are contemplating getting that book for this month, please leave me a comment and let me know that you are and your thoughts on that. Hang on and we'll be back with book number 2 in a moment. Okay, book number 2 for Book of the Month, June 2020, is The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. And this is a historical fiction novel, and Britt Bennett is a repeat author for Book of the Month. And here is the synopsis. The Vignans twin sisters will always be identical, but after growing up together in a small southern black community and running away at age 16, it's not just the shape of their daily lives that is different as adults. It's everything: their families, their communities, their racial identities. 10 years later, one sister lives with her black daughter in the same southern town she once tried to escape. The other secretly passes for white, and her white husband knows nothing of her past. Still, even separated by so many miles and just as many lies, the fate of the twins remain intertwined. What will happen to the next generation when their own daughters' storylines intersect? Weaving together multiple strands and generations of this family from the Deep South to California, from the 1950s to the 1990s, Britt Bennett produces a story that is at once a riveting, emotional family story and a brilliant exploration of the American history of passing. Looking well beyond issues of race, The Vanishing Half considers the lasting influence of the past as it shapes a person's decisions, desires, and expectations, and explores some of the multiple reasons and realms in which people sometimes feel pulled to live as something other than their origins. Wow. If you are considering signing up and getting this book for Book of the Month, June 2020, again, please feel free to comment and let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear them. And if you haven't signed up and you're interested in this book, please also let me know that. But for now, we are going to move on to book number 3. So hang on for that. Okay, book number 3 for June 2020, Book of the Month, Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. And this is a mystery novel. It's an early release. It's also by a repeat author. And let's dig into the synopsis. What was it like living in that house? Maggie Holt is used to such questions. 25 years ago, she and her parents, Ian and Jess, moved into Banbury Hall, a rambling Victorian estate in the Vermont woods. They spent 3 weeks there before fleeing in the dead of the night, an ordeal Ian later recounted in a non-fiction book called House of Horrors. His tale of ghostly happenings and encounters with malevolent spirits became a worldwide phenomenon, rivaling the Amityville horror in popularity and skepticism. Today, Maggie is a restorer of old homes and too young to remember any of the events mentioned in her father's book, but she also doesn't believe a word of it. Ghosts, after all, don't exist. When Maggie inherits Banbury Hall after her father's death, she returns to renovate the place to prepare it for sale. But her homecoming is anything but warm. People from the past chronicled in House of Horrors lurk in the shadows, and locals aren't thrilled that their small town has been made infamous thanks to Maggie's father. Even more unnerving is Banbury Hall itself, a place filled with relics from another era that hints at a history of dark deeds. As Maggie experiences strange occurrences straight out of her father's book, she starts to believe that what he wrote was more fact than fiction. So, very quick side note before we move on. I happen to live about 10 minutes from the Amityville Horror House. So this one definitely sounds intriguing to me because as a teenager, I did visit that house, or at least passed it by with friends. You know, it's something you do when you're a teenager, but definitely I'm intrigued now. So if you are considering the Home from Dark book for Book of the Month 2020, please let me know in the comments. And now we're going to move on to book number 4, so hang on for that. Okay, book number 4 for June 2020, Book of the Month, One to Watch by Kate Stayman London. And this is a romance novel. It's a debut author, and it's another early release. And this one, the synopsis is: B. Schumacher is a devastatingly stylish plus-size fashion blogger who has amazing friends, a devoted family, legions of Insta followers, and a massively broken heart. Like the rest of America, Bea indulges in her weekly obsession, the hit reality show Main Squeeze. The fantasy dates, the kiss-off rejections, the surprising amount of guys named Chad, but Bea is sick and tired of the lack of body diversity on the show. Since when is being a size 0 a prerequisite for getting engaged on television? Just when Bea has sworn off dating altogether, she gets an intriguing call. Main Squeeze wants her to be its next star. Surrounded by men vying for her affections, Bea agrees on one condition. Under no circumstances will she actually fall in love. She's in this to supercharge her career, subvert harmful anti-fat beauty standards, inspire women across America, and get a free hot air balloon ride. That's it. But when the cameras start rolling, Bea realizes things are more complicated than she's anticipated. She's in a whirlwind of sumptuous couture, internet culture wars, sexy suitors, and an opportunity or two or five to find messy real-life love in the midst of a made-for-TV fairy tale. In this joyful, razor-sharp debut, Bea has to decide whether it might just be worth trusting these men and herself for a chance to live happily ever after. And that one sounds like a great beach read. I probably won't be doing much beach visits this summer with all that's going on with the virus and everything, but I'll still be sitting outside in my backyard, and I will definitely need a nice, easy read. So this sounds right up my alley for that. So if you are considering one to watch for Book of the Month, June 2020, let me know in the comments. And now we are heading to the last book, book number 5, so hang on for that. Okay, you've waited for it. Here is book number 5 for Book of the Month, June 2020. The book is The Last Flight, and it is by Julie Clark. It is a thriller novel. And here is the synopsis. Claire Cook has a perfect life, married to the heir of a political dynasty with a Manhattan townhouse and a staff of 10. Her surroundings are elegant, her days flawlessly choreographed, and her future auspicious. But behind closed doors, nothing is quite as it seems. The perfect husband has a temper that burns as bright as his promising political career, and he's not above using his staff to track Claire's every move, making sure she's living up to his impossible standards. But what he doesn't know is that Claire has worked for months on a plan to vanish. A chance meeting in an airport bar brings her together with a woman whose circumstances seem equally dire. Together they make a last-minute decision to switch tickets. Claire taking Eva's flight to Oakland and Eva traveling to Puerto Rico as Claire. They believe the swap will give each of them the head start they need to begin again somewhere far off. But when the flight to Puerto Rico goes down, Claire realizes it's no longer a head start, but a new life. Cut off, out of options, with the news of her death about to explode in the media, Claire will assume Eva's identity, and along with it, the secrets Eva fought so hard to keep hidden. Another great possibility, and if you are considering The Last Flight for June's Book of the Month, please let me know in the comments once again. And those were the 5 books. I would love, love, love once again to hear your choice. If you are a member or you're considering to join, if you are considering to join, remember to use that promo code and link in the comments. And for now, I just want to tell everyone, please, please, please stay safe. And I'm hoping you're having a magical day. And bye for now.